Hey, what's up guys, Metal571 here, and today I'm going to talk about the beyerdynamic Amiron Home headphone. What is this for? This is a consumer headphone, a consumer open back dynamic driver headphone, which uses the Tesla 2.0 drivers, which you may have seen my review on the DT1770 at this point. Same driver technology. Basically it's 250 ohms, and they're more sensitive than you would normally expect for that impedance because of the design. But you'll still need an amp to drive this. I wouldn't drive it without an amplifier, so note that right off the bat. As far as the build quality, again, very good, just like the other new Tesla 2.0 headphones. Definitely the kind of build quality you'd expect for the price, which is about $599. You've got generous use of metal for the yokes. You've got this really nice beyerdynamic, says it's velvety soft headband and ear pads made out of Alcantara microfibers. So a little bit different than just the usual velour that you would get on some headphones. Very comfortable, luxurious, soft. Let's see if you guys can see that. It's got a nice amount of cushioniness there. Cushioniness, I like that word. Anyway, yeah, you get beyerdynamic written across the top of the headband, etc. These are also individually serialized, as you would expect from a headphone that costs this much. And that's about it. Just note that these are open back, so not really any isolation happening. The back here, this is basically a vent that goes around this beyerdynamic written on the side. L and R are up inside here and here, so you know which one is left and right, which is actually especially important here because this has a removable double-sided cable, just like that. White indicates left, red right, the usual usually what you would expect there. But I still prefer a single entry cable when possible, although there are small compromises, however, with single entry cables, as there needs to be some kind of cable that goes through the headband and background to the other side. You see that with the 1770s, but not with these because it's dual-sided. So they give you this one cable in the box, has those 3.5, I think they're 3.5 millimeter connectors that go into the headphone on the sides. You get the usual 3.5 millimeter jack here with the threading for the 1/4 inch adapter, all included in the box. In addition to that, you're gonna have this case, hearing case. So this is it's not a hard shell, but it's, you know, a firm build, and it's lined with a sort of fabric that's soft. The inside got a little pouch here, small, hard to see, but yeah, there it is. Pouch here for keeping your adapter and enough room to fit the headphones and the cable. So that's there. Zipper closes it up. And so that comes in the box along with the headphones and the cable. So that's all you get. You don't get any extra pads, no extra short cables. I mean, you wouldn't want to use this as a portable anyway, since it leaks a huge amount of sound. It's an open back headphone, not a closed back. And that's pretty much everything for the build quality. Comfort, I thought these were really good. These don't have the much stronger clamping force of the professional line headphones that beyerdynamic makes. This is a home-oriented headphone for sure. It's supposed to be for comfort and enjoyment. Okay, well, let's talk about the sound here. The bass for me is a bit lean, and that's not too surprising. Beyerdynamic's open back headphones never really had a very warm bass, except for maybe the DT990 is known for having a warmer than usual bass. Open headphones in general don't have a very strong bass. These are no exception there, especially dynamic driver open backs. But the bigger problem is that, once again, like the DT1770, I can hear that the bass is pretty ill-defined. It ends up being one note sounding a lot, with some tracks like from Bass Nectar, where there's a clear like delineation in the bass line moving from different frequencies around. For example, those frequencies tend to sound more alike than different. It's kind of odd and confusing, as it makes songs kind of sound like I don't expect them to. I expect there to be some definition, especially at the price here, and so that was a bit disappointing. Oops, hit that. All right, mid-range. The mid-range is actually quite warm on this headphone. The low mids, well, very unlike, I think, the 1770, which had them scooped. This one's got them a little bit forward, so you get quite a bit of warmth to your guitar tones and your vocals. That region is nice and actually quite welcome because of the treble, which I'm going to have to get to in a second. So you got some other than the warmth in the low mids, say 300 to 500 hertz or so, 600 hertz, where there's seemingly what sounds like a bump there. Other than that, they sound pretty neutral to me. Maybe ever so slightly laid back at 3.5K, which is that peak location that I usually complain about. Upper mids are fine in terms of they're smooth and they're warm, even though the bass is not very well defined. But the problem with these headphones that I have the biggest gripe with is definitely the treble. Now, a lot of people were expecting, the Amiron Home, home listening, easy listening, is beyerdynamic going to tame the treble? No. Sadly, that has not happened with this headphone. This thing has seriously bright treble to me. There are very prominent peaks at 6 and 10K. It's when I toggle my EQ that I've come up with for this headphone on and off, it's like turning on a switch of shh to like much softer and then back to shh, like happening in all the songs. It's really, really crazy. I estimate the peaks. I don't know what the measurements are. I'm not sure if anyone has measured this headphone, but going by ear, trying to match some other headphones that are my reference, like my EQ HD800 sitting back there, I'd say you need like 8 to 10 dB. Seriously, 8 to 10 dB down on 10 and 6K. Just really aggressive peaks in the treble here. I'm not sure, since this headphone is supposed to be replacing the T90, I'm not sure if they were trying to emulate that kind of sound. I found the T90 very, very bright as well. Very hard to listen to. I don't know if it's just me, but that's how it sounds. Beyerdynamics have always been bright, but the 1770 was a nice break from that brightness. It was nowhere near as bright as many other beyerdynamics that I've heard in the past, but this is basically still following down that path of super bright, very glisteny, almost like it's trying to fake detail it's not there, because the other problem with the treble is that it's not particularly well defined either. Again, it follows kind of the Tesla 2.0 problem that I've had with the 1770s here. Loose bass, not too well defined. Treble is a bit etched. Same thing here. It's open back. Sounds a little cleaner, I think, overall than the 1770, but you're still going to end up having some problems with the detail on the treble for the $599 price point. As far as the soundstage goes, I thought it was very, very good. Actually, in a way, once I removed the peaks and could actually hear what was going on when I wasn't hearing massive sibilance eating its way at my ears, the soundstage actually reminded me a little bit of a T1, pretty somewhat decent imaging for different instruments, but not like extremely wide. So this was kind of interesting to find that. But again, soundstage I think is fine for the price. It's the rest of the sound that's not so great. EQ is also not 100% effective here. I still found it was to be a little bit sibilant, even after reducing the treble peaks, which, again, like I said, it's kind of points to a slower driver and an etchedness in the treble. So overall, I really think this is way overpriced, especially for the level of detail you're getting here for $599. It could be priced at $199, and I probably still wouldn't buy it, but that's just because of my preference for the HD600, HD650 type of sound. And speaking of those headphones, I really, really don't see the need for this headphone to exist because of those headphones being available for about $299 and $399 respectively. This at $599 is really pushing the limit of what anyone should be charging for this kind of sound quality. If you're as picky as I am and an audiophile as much as I am, if you like the way they look, if they like the build quality, which I do. I mean, I think the build quality is awesome. Beyerdynamic's been doing some amazing things with build quality lately, even better than they used to be, which was already really, really good. But the sound is really just not quite there. This headphone is an odd mix between warm mids, sort of lean-ish bass that's not very well defined, and a sharp, powerful treble. And if that fits you, sure, I mean, it'll work, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan in the world of the Amiron, and I had some high hopes. I thought maybe they would reduce the treble. I've heard that the DT1990 is a lot less sharp, a lot less bright, and maybe something I like more. I'll be reviewing one of those in the future. I've gotten into contact with somebody. Thank you for tweeting at me. That somebody, don't remember your name right now, sorry, to get a 1990 for review. And I'll take a look at that. That'll be the same unit that Z Reviews reviewed, so I'll also take a look at that. And that's about it for this headphone. Next up will be the Mod House Audio Argon, which if you want to see them on camera here, before I review them, here they are. Just to prove that I seriously have one. ZMF pads on this one, and it's a T50RP mod, so that's coming next. And that's about all I got. So let me know what you think. I'll leave the equalization in the comments as usual, and make sure you follow me on Twitter to stay up to date and ask any further questions. Alright guys, there's another Beyerdynamic Tesla for you broken down. See you next time.